Hi, guys. Happy Fairy Friday. Welcome, welcome. Metaphysical Mama. Thanks for coming to hang out. As usual, I tried to schedule a little earlier, but I got, bumped around a little bit like a pinball. So nonetheless, here we are. I so appreciate you coming to hang out with me. Just a little Palo Santo to clear the energy. I got a green candle lit here. Sorry, I just tip chill a little. Might be better that way. Maybe that was, that might mean something. I just knocked our candle right out. So also, we had some snow this morning. Got like 6 inches of snow, which was so nice. So we have the green candle here. I'm going to relight. We have a little green pyramid that I got as a gift from a friend a while back. And I got my green shirt on. So we're in the green today. You know, the green fairy, the green children. I opened the fairy book and I opened to the green children, the green fairy, the green man. Money's green, nature's green. You know, maybe it keeps knocking. There, is that better? Green with envy, the green dragon, emerald tablets, and the vertical green and the horizontal green, different. The fairies are messing with me, or the elvins, the little elfins, or the gnomes, or something. Mute. I got muted. All that flopping around. My candle knocked out. Some fairy. That's some fairy realm 303. Trickery. Funny. So yeah. So I was saying, I also have my Green Mountain coffee cup, but I don't have coffee in here. I have raspberry hibiscus tea. I don't know how long I was muted for. I hope you stayed with me, and thank you if you did. Now I got 333 up in the house, kids. So yeah, lots of green today. Green children, green fairy, green man. Again, green with envy. I'm gonna move you again just to show you. I have my green Frankenstein. Can you see him on my computer there? Earlier I had my half a blunt hanging out of Frankie's mouth there. He was chilling, like smoking out, holding it for me. And I also have this beautiful other green pyramid with some copper and the Om. Yeah, it's the Om there. Has some nice energy. So that over here. And of course we have our pine cone. If you want to look up the symbolism to the pine cone, there's a lot. And you know, the consciousness is still aware even though it's removed from its source. I'm just going to leave that there because that's another video, but that's a big theme also today. Source energy, consciousness, the difference between spirit and fantasy, right? Fantasies, ideas are great, passion, great, but having discernment and 1144, where 515, where resonance 519, ancestral blood cleaning time. Where resonance resonates is important, right? So it's like, you know, when you get that gut feeling, or it feels like, you know, again, like the boat's being rocked inside, and we're like, and then we question something. So you're questioning it inside because it's our internal spirit and soul letting us know something's a little off here, right? Our boat's getting a little rocky. So if we happen to question stuff like that, and I'm being guided to also show you the amethyst, because this is super healing. It's like amethyst caves, crystal caves, King Arthur. I may read a little King Arthur too. That's coming up in the channeling. So just to introduce myself a little to you, Metaphysical Mama, it's a metaphysical channel, a little bit of everything and a lot of bit of nothing, honey. So we work with etymology, vibration, gematria, crystal, what energy never lies, people do. So anything really goes. But again, discernment, you know, it's like, you know, like, right. So as far as you know, that doesn't mean like someone else gets to take over, anything goes, like, oh yeah, no, that's not what that means. It just means I don't have a prejudiced judgment against what comes in, so I allow it to free fall and flow through me, and I try not to, but sometimes it's kind of vulgar, right? The original name of the Bible was Vulgate. So there is some vulgar information that's going to come through, and when everybody wants to sugarcoat everything and make it appear like it's something different, like we're going through around the whole world, 7-Eleven, right, with the virus, and everybody wants to get a shot to just make it like all better, but people with the vaccine are still getting the right. It's like, because it's Mother Nature telling you to rise your divine feminine and care for your inner child inside, and not get lured by the green fairy. That also represents absinthe, right? The green muse. So again, it could be a fantasy or something that can lure, right? Like, or give us something to then create with, or right, put us in a creative state of mind, or right, again, but yeah, most of the time it's used for other things that are not, you know, divine in nature, right? But I mean, again, everything's balanced. Duality, we're coming out of duality. So I don't want to get all into all metaphysics, because this particular video is supposed to be about fairies. So, but and again, everything's intertwined. So I'm not really gonna apologize. Like, I try to title things and, you know, make a plan, but it don't always go my way, or how I think or thought it was going to. Or right, again, it's like all of a sudden a different frequency could come on, a different something else comes into the collective, or through, right, you know, because I pretty much read the celestial, it's like, right, like the stars talk to me, like, or just energy, right? So, and also I'm putting a website together, guys. It's metaphysical-mama.com, but it's a total just boof right now, like kind of playing, because I'm 909. Because there's a lot of, you know, again, just, you know, I'm just going easy with it all, and keeping my because I have metaphysicalmamma.com too, but it was a little bit tricky how I yeah, was getting into the, and I got a domain name through something else, and then yeah, so whatever. metaphysical-mama.com. So we'll see how that goes. You know, yeah, I'm not, it's like, that's not, yeah. So let me know if you think, put in the comments, or tell me if you think like that's like weird if it has a hyphen. You know what I mean? I can't really do anything about it right now. So here's what it is. But anyway, I'm gonna be building on there, and then I'm gonna be, you know, like doing more stuff on that as well, to engage, so we can do, like, you know, you can do one-on-ones with me, or we can even get together in a group of, like, you know, 4 or 5 of us and have like a chat, Do some creative collective, you know, conspiring, not conspiring, but creative, you know, creating content, music, lyric, just going through whatever that is. Also, yeah, getting into like, I work with, you know, shadow work, right? Addictions, dis-ease, because everything is vibration. So when we're out of tune, we're at dis-ease, and we're manifesting dis-ease on some level within our mental, emotional, spiritual, or physical body. 10-4-4, right? It's like it's going to appear, and then we have to tap in and go deeper within to find the origin of why something's manifesting, rather than trying to reverse it or, you know, cut it out or, right, say cure it. What's wrong is the ignorance of man, right? Ignoring the original problem where it began, right? And it's tricky. It's tricky to rock around. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell. And I saw the subscriber numbers went up a little, so woohoo! Please subscribe if you have not as well, because really important that those numbers fluctuate, because, you know, lots of, like I said, little gnomes and fairies and demon spirits and others like Jezebels and other fuckers that like try to put shit on like a big blanket like this, like, right, they try to put their like elbow in our barrier, like under the algorithms and whatever. So, you know, the support's important, that we keep swimming through. Don't let them entangle you in their weeds. I like to smoke weed, but don't get entangled in them too much. And when we are, and you're aware, it's like, right, sometimes there's, you know, the serenity prayer, the wisdom to know the difference, right? God grant me the serenity, 12-12, to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, right, between the two, because sometimes they can appear very similar. So, and we feel like we have to jump into something. So it's like, or that, right, don't put your energy where you don't need to, right? And where you do need to make a stand, or where you need to swim in a different direction, we build the courage up to do so. And sometimes that's just remaining still, holding space, and allowing the energy to be transmuted, right? Like, how does a mother or a nurse or anybody else take care of anybody that's not feeling well? Patience, right? Divine feminine, nurturing, 13 on the nose, as I said that. And yo, I just want to also share, you know, I don't know if anybody's experienced shit like this. I have, like, sporadically throughout my life, but do you ever wake up from a dream and like have marks on your body or have some like stuff like that? So that happened again to me the other night. I woke up, I like these marks on my arm, and yeah, I had that happen like years ago. It was like I had a dream I got bit by like a dog or a wolf. Like I was like in that right after I was sleeping, like literally like that kind of sleeping dreaming. And yeah, I felt like something bit the calf of my leg. And when I woke up in the morning, I had bite marks, like dog bite marks on my calf, like in bruises. And that's what it like got, but I don't know if you guys yet. Like this shit too. It's like these weird, it was like something got me and like punctured me, but it's almost like a arrowhead and like a circular thing. I don't know. Anyhow, very interesting. I don't know. And I know I felt weird the other night. Like I'm very Uranian Aquarian energy anyway. But yeah, we're definitely going through birth, you know, the portals, stargates, wormholes, black holes. You may feel like you're hallucinating a little bit. A lot of other people I speak with are having very experiences where like they're not taking anything, but they're seeing like they are, right? 1444. So if you're seeing like that or getting headaches, also big pain in my here in this lymph node and right here. So I had to, like, for the last few days, like, be pressing up in here. And like in the back of my head here, I gotta look into what they're called, but they're like these two little antenna things. They look like coming out of the bottom of the brain. Look like they have a little marble or a ball on either side. So like the little antenna things, they go into the inner ear canals here. And my hearing's been weird also in the last few days. Like, this ear has been weird, but then this one, it's like if I'm like in a, like, in an instrument, you know, right? And like St. Francis, like, let me be an instrument of thy peace. We are an instrument. And like, I'm talking about where the tuning. Also, jinn, hang out in the inner ear canal, right? Ear, nose, throat. So that's a lot of also what we're going to get, that, you know, jinn, fairies, genie, mermaid came up. So yeah, you know, all relative. The green man, this is all Lucifer, all Lucifer, and right. So everything I'm speaking of still has to do with fairies. I hope you're still hanging out and enjoying. She said she was going to talk about the fairies. Sometimes spirit makes me get, you know, all the time. I ain't gonna lie. I get swung all over the place because, like, right, I ride the waves of chaos. So that's, you know, so if you're down to ride those waves, you ready? Because that's like, you know, keep your arms and legs in, or you just kind of got to let the river take you. This is where you learn to let go. And we confront our shit head on, and we take a look at our shadow self. We take a look at our life. We take a look at where we're upset with the things that make us like feel uncomfortable. We acknowledge that shit here. We don't pretend and sugarcoat, right, a shit cake and tell you it's chocolate. Well, I would never do that. So yeah, this is raw and real, and I hope you like it that way, because I'm not going to change. As far as that goes, that ain't gonna happen. I'm all about change. That's the only thing that's constant. But however, yeah, you know, incorporating all of what we are is important. That's how we, right, create balance. And that's what this is about, coming out of duality, out of the age of Pisces into Aquarius, right, into said, right, like golden age, you know, but it's really the age of everything. It's just, right, everything and nothing. We're letting go of what we thought we, you know, everything that we have been holding on to. It's so tricky to explain until you go through it. So it's so important to acknowledge the shadow, acknowledge the deep, dark stuff we've stuffed away or that's been buried in a closet, or that make us act out in behaviors or addictive, gambling, right? Like a gambler always making bets and deals and trying to, right, finagle this and make it something different. You know, getting caught up in all of that is well, it's alcoholism, which green fairy and alcohol. And you know, again, it's just a balance of, it's just having awareness. I'm not gonna be like, that's good, that's bad, whatever. It is what it is. And sometimes the vibration is off, or someone else is mimicking a vibration. So sometimes shit needs to be, right, called out, brought to light, brought to attention on some level. And of course, those that are hiding things and acting like motherfucking assholes are gonna want to keep that shit hidden. And it's not always assholes. Again, it's like, right, who wants to acknowledge, you know, there's a bunch of different levels to all this, right? There's some that have been getting away with like total murder and just total fucking dickheadedness, right? Total fucking bitch motherfuckers. So let's just keep it real. And all of them are about to have a real quick tower fall. They're going to lose it all real quick, because that's how that works. Everything goes back in the box. Whatever you took, whatever you're playing with, goes back in the wardrobe, back in the box, right? Including the socks. And then people cry victim, but it's like, no, that's how we came into this world. We got to remember who we are. We have to lose who we think we are. That's not a punishment. It's like You come home from playing and your mom's like, go take a shower and wash your hands before you come eat dinner. And we're like, I really wash my hands, or I don't want to take a shower. It's like that. It's like, bitch, you got to go get clean. Not bitch. I would never call my kids that. Well. in a sense, but never my not my children. See, difference between kids and children, right? And again, when people use the card like, oh, see, they're so mean, it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Did you just get your shit called out on? Are your panties in a bunch because, right, someone just told a little of your truth? Somebody just like, right, pulled your curtain aside a little? Pay no attention to that wizard behind the curtain, that man behind the curtain. All right, let's get into the reading. I appreciate you hanging out and bearing with all that extra non-reading all about it. Let's get into the Green Children. And have you ever heard of them? There's a you can look this up too. Or it's like, is it Wolf Pit? The Green Children. Yeah, Wool Pit, not wolf. Excuse me, Wool Pit. Yeah, check that out. Green Children of Wool Pit. Spell it how it sounds. WOOLPIT. And the legend of the Green Children concerns two children of unusual skin color who reportedly appeared in a village of Woolpit in Suffolk, like New York, or they say England, but see, England, right? New England is America, New England. So don't get too swayed to sleep by when stories are like, because they're like, oh, we can, and they've already migrated around. Don't forget, any of those that have done this before shapeshift. So when it don't work out, right, their energy, they just blend. They just try, right? So that's what they have done anyhow. Until now. They still don't even know we're all here, or what we are, or what they are, right? So this is right, first wave twin flames where I'm speaking to now, right? Like or chosen, or if you're just resonating, because the lames and navels, pretty much. The labels and names really don't mean shit. I mean, they do as far as like, it's like, I'm aware, like I was just saying about metaphysical slash mama, right? It's like slash. I don't really like the hyphen and the slash in there, honestly, but it is what it is for the moment. But again, I just don't really like how it settles in my chest and like, and all that. So we'll see how it goes. I may, like I said, spirit may guide me to take down metaphysical mama completely, and right, as I'm talking about shape shifting, but it's right, and have a whole nother name, just because this will run its course, right? And those with ears to hear and eyes to see and etc. already did or will, or it is, right? So it be, and then that's it. So it's like that may happen. I don't know. But if spirit guides me to do that, that's what I'm going to do. I'll delete it all. And anybody that uses any of my content in another, like, I didn't give you permission to. So it's like, if you want to work with me, absolutely. And I'm not talking about when we share information like on a real, like, because that's what we're all here for. I'm talking about when motherfuckers like copy, paste, they make a whole nother website and use our shit and like and then they're profiting off it. And like, you know what I'm talking about? There's a difference, the intent. So yeah, I'm here to share. What, I'm not here to hide shit. So I'm here to share with who's ready for it. But those that are using shit to like, oh, is like, no, you're being watched. It's like, I'm not even going to pay attention to you or that, and or whatever. I'm aware you're there. I know what you're doing. Duh. So let's get into this. All right. In the country of Suffolk, England, a folk tale from the 12th century was told by Ralph of Cogshell. I may have said that wrong. I do apologize if I did. Recounting how 2 green children were found near the mouth of a pit. Now, a mouth, the word delta, again, if you look it up, right, it's the 4th letter of the Greek alphabet. It's a lot of things. It's also female jinn, and it's also triangular river mouth. I did a video on it. If you want to check that out. Hopefully it was focused. I don't even remember, like, if it was actually, if I was, focused the whole time on it or not. Hopefully I was, but otherwise look it up, right? Look up Delta etymology, look up like legends and myths include, right, with Omicron and Delta and etc. So you have a little more awareness, because that's how, right, the Cabal and all these other, right, the archons and narrators, right, they're storytellers. You have to put that into context, right? It's like, do you want to, it's like, do you tell stories to your kids? Or like I used to always have, my grandmother was always great at telling me stories, but she would put my name in or switch the story around, or, and I would love that. So, we always, and that's just one example. I love stories. So our society is built off of storytelling and things being passed down through generation, through instinct, right? And animals instinctually know like who they are. They don't got to run around, right? Like, so the thought in the human mind, like being like animal, no, like bring animal spirit and divine Holy Spirit into your life, the plant kingdom, the mineral kingdom, right? Allow, right, the insect kingdom, right? If you're watching, no, it's like, right, all the creepy crawly things too. We can't be like, no, not you. It's like, ooh, they may bother, like, ooh, freak us out a little, but I was like, okay, ooh, right, you got to breathe through it, like labor pains, like anything else. Getting used to feeling uncomfortable with certain things, right? So whether it's in the imagination or you have to deal with something, like you see something like in your, right, it's like, whatever that may be. Watching a movie sometimes can like freak us out, right? I mean, it does me all the time. Yeah, I can't watch certain things, right? So it's like certain things, like in our imagination, it's like, right? We don't always have to physically be, right, or right, the 5 senses. So it's like, what's going on in the mind? What's going on in the emotional, right? Or do you not know how to handle the emotions, and do they, right? So anyway, I just, it was interesting that they said found them in a triangle, the mouth of a pit. So near the mouth of a pit, which they might, right, they got dumped through the down through the river or something there. I mean, we're gonna have to do more research on this, but I never read it through out of this before. I have awareness of the green children. I've done a good amount of research on them, but before the whole Delta thing. So now I have triangular river mouth and all this other stuff. So I'm channeling now. They're giving me a lot more information as I'm trying to talk about this and read this to you. So hopefully we get through. Oh boy. Okay, so they had the form of all their limbs like to those of other men, but they differed in the color of their skin from all the people of our habitable world. For the whole surface of their skin was tinged of green color. Now also, that's like, great, the copper bloodline, which I was just showing us before too, which is very interesting. So that's it, right? The copper bloodline, like the skin was green, or like Osiris skin was blue, right? So again, we have different species, bloodlines, and right, like, yeah, different animals, different beasts running around here in human skin. Well, hey, everybody, just take one of these. It's all the same. Everybody can just fit in Cinderella's shoe, right? One size fits all. Hey, no matter how big or how small. And then everybody's coming now. Now there's all these other it's like, it makes sense. Makes scientific sense. Let me not get off topic, because I am. All right. As we said, the next sentence is the sickly boy and his sister, whose language could not be understood by the puzzled villagers, and who, through ravenously hungry, would not touch the food offered to them, were taken to the house of a knight. Kitleys, or Kiteleys, the fairy mythology, 1828, 17, 18, 19, that equals 19, describes the food that eventually tempted them to eat. At length, when some beans just cut with their stalks were brought into the house, they made signs with great avidity that they should be given to them. When they were brought, they opened the stalks instead of the pods, thinking the beans were in the hollow of them, but not finding them there. They begun to weep anew. When those who were present saw this, they opened the pods and showed them the naked beans. They fed on these with great delight, and for a long time tasted no other food. Green bee, I never read that yet. That's cute. But this sustenance came too late for the sickly boy, who died shortly afterward. The girl regained her health, lost the green tinge of her skin, and talked of the country she and her brother had come from. She asserted that the inhabitants and all they had in that country were of a green color, and that they saw no sun, but enjoyed a degree of light like what is after sunset. The present day village after sunset. And if the boy passed, right, that's kind of like, oh, hold on, that's kind of represent Osiris, right? So, and like you ever hear when the sun sets, there's that blink. People, like a lot of photographers and stuff will like, or sun watchers, that's like their life goal, is to capture that on camera, to find that sunset and be able to catch it. It just flicks green as it's dipping under the horizon, like that flicker of green, like a pilot light. Which again makes, and right, Luciferian. Let's see. Okay. She asserted that the inhabitants were all, of green color, and they saw no sun, but enjoyed a degree of light like what is after sunset. The present day village of Woolpit, the location of this tale, features on its sign the two figures of the green children. Yeah, it's depicted erected in 1977. They'd only eat raw broad beans. Perhaps during the reign of King Stephen. Now, Stephen King, right, the author, that kept coming up. Well, it always comes up. But Dr. Sleep, and I loved the book, The Girl That Loved Tom Gordon. So yeah, a lot of things happen in the Americas as things are flipped around. Don't forget, everything that's up is down and down is up. Everything's been mixed and flipped up, right? Like Atlantis sunk. So everything we think we knew, most of it is not true. Oh, so I was saying, I have my raspberry hibiscus tea here, and I added some maca, which is so good for you. It's good to drink your herbs, healthy mind, healthy body, healthy soul. My daughter says, look good, do good, feel good. Look good, do good, feel good. Look good, do good, feel good. Or look good, feel good, do good. I forget which direction she says it. Either way, they all make sense, right? Feel good, do good, look good. However, you know what I'm saying? Look good, feel good, do good. Feel good, look good, do good. Feel good, right? So we want to nurture ourselves now. This is about nurturing ourselves, and those beings that are like kind of tyrannical are like, ooh, they just need help too. So it's like, okay, they're just not, it's like, great, don't even bother trying to explain, get into it. It's like right beating a dead horse. So just leave it alone. Leave it alone. Let them be. Don't feed them any energy. They're used to getting it either sexually or being dominating or and this is like in a general, like, right, for the whole world, like this is how everything's been, right? We're operating off of sex addiction, wanting to find a quick fix, wanting it, right? Like, I want it now, daddy. Right? That's how the whole world is. Otherwise, we just want things that we just want. Well, that's great, but like, right, Holy Spirit would like for everyone to listen. Like, she's asked enough times. I know everybody. We all got the messages because we've been going through a pandemic. How long, right? It's like the plagues, right? Read Leviticus. I got guided to read I got to read like all of Leviticus yesterday. Not all of Leviticus, but like the vows and tithes. Oh, Leviticus. I have it open still to 27. So Leviticus, like 20, like way before that, but wherever you get guided to look, read. Yeah, read that shit. Leviticus 27, around that area, before, after. Play around a little. And also, I opened, I didn't read yet, to Jeremiah's Cup of Fury, which also I think is intertwined with this. So, yeah. That's what's up. Karma's here. It's happening, guys. It's happening. Everything's got the poll. And also yesterday I got guided a big download, right? The poles are shifting. That's so if you felt a little, right, but it's not like a flip where everything's gonna, like, look, we're going through, right, hurricanes, fires, snowstorms. Pay attention and listen to your internal compass. The earth is talking. Are you listening? Divine Holy Spirit is talking. Are you listening? The elementals, which are the FAERIE, etc., are talking very loudly. Are you listening? Your inner child and your divine guidance is talking to you. And so am I. Are you listening? Here you are. I appreciate it. Right? But really, are you listening with your heart and allow, like, right? And right? Because it's going to take time, and it's going to take a lot of balls and a lot of courage and a lot of clearing, and not going back to what you're used to make yourself feel better, like, right, right, like sucking on mommy's boobie. And look, we've been getting doused with, right, they've been messing with the hormones of the people for a long time. Drinking cow's milk, that changes your hormones, it changes your DNA, it turns, look at the world where, like, and I have nothing against any, again, creed, race, sexuality. It's like, look, however, there's a, like, slowed down because there's stuff going on, like right now with the, and if you don't pay attention, you're letting others poison you with what you don't even, you're operating off fear and following the herd rather than allowing truth to resonate, so you have a little more clarity and your mind is a little more clear. Doesn't mean you're going to know everything, doesn't mean you're going to have all the answers. It just means that you're going to have a little more ability to let go while you're getting flung down the river mouth, because we can't swim against the flow of the river. But a lot of people want to dig gold from the river beds. So, it's like the movie Bird Box. Pay no attention to anybody calling your name or trying to whatever. It's like, we got names all over. So, right, how many different names do we have? Like, la, because they should be coming down river too and listening to their internal compass. And if that's not what they're doing, then they're trying to trick you. They want to invest in you. No, they want to eat you. They want you, all right. You're so special, so special, so special. Mm-hmm. Okay, green fairy. And Tinkerbell was green too. Remember, she used to get so mad at Peter Pan. Aren't we going to the pandemic? And I was like, right, well, Hermes, messenger of God. It's right between God and man. Same as Pan, right? Like between fairyland and and man. And Tinkerbell used to get really pissed the fuck off, right? Let me see too. What do they? It's like I look. It's like they keep right. They're poking dragons. You want to you go poking hibernating bears and dragons, digging in caves and places that you shouldn't be in, and then crying victim. Or keep messing with a pregnant mom, or a mom that's protecting her children, and you want to act a fool and keep showing up like you're gonna or whatever because you whatever. Okay, it's Friday. Green fairy, La Fea Verde, or the green fairy, or La Fea Verde, La Fea. It's F-E with the little woo woo E, F-E-E, La Fea Verde, or the green fairy is another name for absinthe, which also goes into alchemy, Nicholas Flamel and John Dee, and again, moonshine, alcohol, right? Nothing new hasn't happened under the sun. That's why when the sun go down, 1221, right? It's the under. It's under. Right? And then it's evening or twilight. And there's like 3 twilights. Eve and the evening star are different, right? Like, and then there's the morning star, which is Venus. The evening star is the male version of Lucifer, Venus, the morning star, holding a torch, a figure carrying a torch. Okay, so let's read this. And then yesterday too, I had a big download with the pyramid and the warship and the landing ship and how they landed on top of the capstone, the 360-degree circle, and that's right, Omicron saying, and then also like right that's right supposed to be the same as the square because they're both 360 degrees. That's truth. So a circle and a square is 360 degrees, which is truth. But however, if you just come like how the candle got snuffed out before and snuff somebody else's, right? You're just gonna like lay on top of lay on top of them. It's like we're all wondering why our back hurts so much. Motherfucker, get the fuck off. They're so fucking rude. And then they're gonna run around crying victim. After they've been living off of everybody else's deaths for how many fucking eons, years, decades, centuries, whatever time frame line you follow, right? Like 44 on the nose. 44, 4. All right. So anyhow, yeah. Okay, so is another name for absinthe. The intoxicating drink made from wormwood, right? Be very weary of wormwood. Green fennel and other herbs. In France, during the 19th century, it became the drink of choice for writers and artists, and known as their green muse. That sounds pretty good. I actually have wormwood. I put that in my tea sometimes. Only when I'm guided to, though. I've only really had to. I have it, but I've only used it, I think, one time. Yeah. Interesting. Just sharing. I don't know. I was guided to get it, and I did, and yeah, because I love my burdock root. That's what I was saying before. Yeah, drink your herbs. I, hemp powder, hemp protein powder, which is also green. I have elderberry and sea moss, which is great. It's like this beautiful purple color, and it's so good. I love that. And my maca and burdock root. I love burdock root. So yeah, big fan of those things. Cayenne pepper, ginger, a little bit of cinnamon if you don't like the spice, all that's really good, herbs and spices. It was so popular that the hour of 5 p.m. in the boulevard cafes and bars became known as the green hour, right? 5 o'clock somewhere. And it's like too, right? Because yeah, I mean, I did used to drink quite a bit, and I definitely would do like, oh, I just like love sipping on my wine or have my bourbon and write, or I did play around with the computer way back when, like coding or doing whatever. Back especially like remember MySpace and all that stuff, and all the different what were it, like LimeWire and all that, all the like. Yeah, I always loved all that. Pong, remember Pong? Now I'm going to video games. All right, anyway. So there's also green Glasssteak, see Glasssteak, and green lady. I'll have to check that out too. So the green man, I think I've read this before in the other book. So, but this is the fairy encyclopedia I'm reading out of. A nature spirit or wild man of the woods in European folklore. He is a guardian spirit of woodlands and a symbol of the fertility of nature. He features prominently in May Day celebrations when people dress in costumes made of greenery and flowers, representing the green man in the guise of Jack of the Green, the King of the May, or the Garland. Judy Garland. Garland goes around a tree. In celebration of the regeneration of springtime. Carvings of the green man as a head with foliage emerging from the nose, mouth, and beard are found in Christian churches dating back to the 6th century. Right, so you actually see a green man, like right in churches. And where'd Christianity come from? Paganism. Where'd paganism come from? And the Bible and etc. Those are from the Apocryphas, Dead Sea Scrolls, Sumerian. Which Sumerian got it from the Enuma Elish, and why is the other one blanking my head right now? That's one that but anyhow, there's many different ancient texts and scriptures, right? If you ever Zechariah Sitchin and all like he studied the Sumerian tablets quite a lot of Sumerian, Anunnaki, etc. So there's a lot that come before, again, the origins, the star origins of where the stories that have built the world all live upon here, right? It's like you just really had, the cover of the book, not that's surface. And it's been rituals, traditions, routines, right, going around the sun, Saturn, right? So we've all been in the learning program and duality, positive, negative, etc. Right. So now we're coming into the middle, being the variable, so we can see both sides and allow things to kind of be a little bit more of a river than just a one-line stream, or you being the fisherman casting a fishing line with one pole, right? One line, right? A stream, right? Trying to catch that fish, Just keep trying to catch that fish. Just keep trying to catch that fish. Damn it, why can't I catch that fish? Let go and be the water. Allow the water to take you down the stream, because there's multiple streams that are happening in synchronicity, right? Coinciding along one another at the same time. So we just want to allow ourselves to flow into, the delta, the big river mouth, into the next stage of life we're going into, right? A whole new world. And when you get birth, you go down the birth canal, right? The water breaks into mom. Right? Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell. So what you can, what we can relate to as far as too, right? Einstein, right? Everything is relative. So it all comes into play depending on, right? And if it doesn't, that's okay. That's why it always says to kindly take what resonates and leave the rest. It may just be a seed being planted, or maybe it just wasn't yours. Maybe you had to carry that seed to somebody else and you didn't even know it, and you don't even need to know it, right? It's like, so sometimes we just need to be somewhere listening, and then when we're around, and then, oh, right, something might come up. So it's like we're just carrying a seed. So we don't got to think so much into all that. Okay. Don't get too caught in thought stuck in your head, period. And the narcissist will act like, like say to us, like, oh, well, seems like you think da da, or you're telling me, or because they'll use the words telling, you think, you don't let me see, right? You. Okay. People using the word you made me feel this way. If you didn't do this, then blah, 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 blah. Okay. So put us on the cross. We're all guilty. We get it. You want to blame us all for everything. We get it. We get it. You still got to do your work. Sorry you don't like it. We don't love it either, right? Like, but once you start doing it and going through it, it's worth it. So you begin to love life and yourself a whole fucking lot more, right? Got a whole lot of love. And that is where your value and your worth come in, because you feel so much better in your own fucking skin. And that's the goal. How do we cure, right, the virus? You got to get out of the circle of Osiris, the little O, the O, wanting to be like the Jones, wanting to again, desire and lust, comes from the gut. And this is a disease, a virus of the crown, corona. The crown chakra and the solar plexus are connected, just like the gut and the brain, always talking. A lot of shit, too. That's where it comes from. But it helps us grow really great gardens too, right? Until they start uprooting everything and spraying it with Roundup, right? Moon and Saturn, Monsanto, and then like acting like they don't know what happened. So again, lots of different stuff going on. Everybody wants to run around and call themselves a moms and say that other people aren't, while they're all operating off of fear and Munchausen syndrome proxy. Let's just make things real fucking clear. Meow. Meow, meow, meow. Okay. Anything? Oh, Grimm. Don't fear the Reaper. And Jabaz's allies on the Ignis Fatuus, or Will O' the Wisp and the Fairies, 1846, again in 19, an account of hauntings and apparitions in the villages of Worcestershire, England. Grimm appears as one of pulling a mysterious black wagon in the night's dread gloom. The fairies are described as shapeshifters, Pinch and Patch, Gull and Grimm. Go, you together, for you can change your shapes, like to the weather. Grimm is also described as taking on the form of a black dog, similar to the church Grimm, the guardian spirit of a church and its graveyard. Yep. And that's another thing, yeah, sacred lands. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Grimm, Jacob, and the Wilhelm. I should read that too. Sorry, I just spoke a lot. When I smoke when I'm channeling. I mean, I don't smoke a lot, as you see. It keeps going out on me, but smoking dragon here, not draconian dragon. Different. I was born near a dragon. Okay. Grimm, Jacob and Wilhelm. The Grimm brothers were German academics, linguists, cultural researchers, and authors who collected and published folklore and fairy tales. They, the Grimm's fairy tales. They were born in Hanau, the second and third children of a family of 9. At the ages of 13 and 14, following the death of their father, they moved in with an aunt in the town of Kassel. They went on to study law at the University of Marburg, but already had established an interest in traditional tales. Their professor introduced them to Clemens Brentano, a German romantic who wrote folk poetry. He urged the brothers to collect and write down all the stories that they had heard. Collect and write down stories. Despite having to work as librarians to support their younger siblings, their mother died in 1808, just 17. The brothers continued with their task and their first book, Children and Household Tales, also known as Grimm's Fairy Tales. So it used to be Children and Household Tales, Grimm's Fairy Tales, was published in 1812, which is 12. The book contained 86 tales, 14, and included some of Charles Perrault's stories. The second volume was published 2 years later with 70 additional tales. In its final version, it would contain more than 200 tales. The Grimms collected tales that they thought typically represented German culture and heritage, such as Little Red Riding Hood, although stories with the same thread can be found throughout Europe and beyond. My life is like one big fairy tale. Literally. But they try to say we're not real. I mean, do I look real to you? Are we? I don't know. Can you see me? Can you see me now? Can you see me now? Can you hear me now? We have to do like Bundy. The old Al Bundy. Everybody has to stand in a position. Over the years, they rewrote some of the tales, adding details and often eliminating the violent and sexual content in order to make them suitable for children. There are too many tales to be listed here, but some of the best known include Rapunzel, Hansel and Gretel, Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, and Tom Thumb. The Grimms' influence on the fairy tale genre is undeniable, and their work inspired many similar collections of folklore and fairy tales in various countries. Their tales continue to be adapted and recounted around the world. I'm going to read this other little one because I see the word bogs. Yeah, don't get confused by the difference between smoke and fog. Mist, right? I think girl is in the mist. Last night at 2, I watched Planet of the Apes, the part 4. I've seen the end of it. I saw like the middle toward the end of it before. I never saw it from the beginning the whole way through. So last night I watched that. So sad, right? I could so relate with Nova too. Nova. As far as the cars go with that too, like they had a hard time selling Novas back in the day, like to the like Latin community, because Nova in Spanish means no go. So it's like you want to buy a car that no go. It's like, that's right. So again, I'm just sharing that because our language is so well, don't forget, diverse, and that it was right meant to be confused. Let us confuse their languages, right? Tower of Babel. But the language of the heart, and again, truth energy never lies. So where truth resonates is that buoyancy point right here, right? This is true north. It's like the sign of the cross that we're on, right? Is inside of you. That's your compass. And it's like a positive sign, like a battery. So you got the little negative under your feet, so you can make it like, right? Okay, Grindylow. Haunting pools and bogs. This malicious water spirit, this is where they make golems. This is like the story too, like Rebecca in the Bible. So a malicious water spirit of the northern counties of England lures children to their death by drowning. A similar spirit to Jenny Greenteeth, it serves as a warning to unwary children not to venture too close to the water. And that's too a lot of the reasons those things are, but yeah. Grok of the Isle of Lok to buy a cow or a pig. Trolls. Gryla. Asmodeus. Gryla, descended from trolls and mother of the equally hideous Yule lads. Now, Saturn is an octopus, Uranus, Saturn, okay, and is a mother. Saturn's like, right, the boundary creator, the boundary maker, and like, right, the father. But Saturn, Moon, those are feminine planets. Mercury, right, is androgynous, right? Could go both ways. It has both, right? Masculine, feminine, positive, negative, but messy. Mercury right now, right? We're clearing Mercury, cleaning. That's the right. Fifth element, we're cleaning in alchemy, right? We're purifying our blood, the Mars and the Mercury, and our bodies and our mind. All right, fifth element, all five, all. There's all the waters, all the air, all clearing it all. All right. Descended from trolls and mothers of the equally hideous Yule lads, Gryla is a cannibalistic ogre whose appearance is described in John Arneson's 19th century collection of Icelandic folk tales. So that's like Asmodeus, making me think right away Asmodeus. Gryla has 3 heads and 3 eyes in each head, horribly long curved fingernails, icy blue eyes at the back of the head, and horns like a goat. Her ears dangle down to her shoulders and are attached to the nose in front. She has a beard on her chin that is like knotted yarn on a weave with tangles hanging from it, while her teeth are like burnt rocks in a grate. Ew. With such a gruesome aspect, she could hardly be more qualified to frighten misbehaving children, especially at Christmas, when she is partial to feasting on them. Her 13 sons, the Yule lads, accompany her, but have undergone modification over the years and are now benign present givers, leaving their gifts in children's shoes, like St. Nick. On a satirical news website, the blame for the eruption of, oh boy, Eyjafjallajökull, an Icelandic volcano, and the subsequent devastation of airline schedules caused by the dense cloud of ash was laid at Gryla's door. Interesting. Now, yeah, the ash. Yule. The Yule log. And gull. Along with Grimm, this prankster of a fairy is associated with Robin Goodfellow. Among his dubious skills, he lists the stealing of children and leaving changelings in their place, thieving cream, causing nightmares by lying on the stomachs of sleeping mortals, and gulling or bamboozling people by using a different voice. So we're dealing with lots of dows. I'm just reading what was popping out, to me as we're popping through. Goragid Anwen. And that came up this morning too, Anwen. So I'm going to read this. It's a little long, but we're going to read this. Let me just, my daughter's going to come visit me. And I think she texted me. I just want to answer her back. Okay. Thank you. I hope you're enjoying hanging out with me. Thank you so much for doing so. I'm having fun. There's a lot going on here. All right. Numerous. I'm still going to read about the mermaid. And speaking of Lucifer, also Venus, I have Venus pulled up here too. Venus is in 17 degrees Sagittarius presently. And I don't know if is she in retrograde yet, or she's about to be. If she's not, she's about to be. Interactive sky chart. Here we are. Well, notice the altitude 6 degrees, constellation Sag. Well, this is probably, Connecticut. And by the way, today's January 7th, 2022, and we're in a 2, 4, 6, 13, 14. Today's is 14 day? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah. It's an Osiris day, babies. Number 14. Woo woo. Super great. Which we simplify to a 5, fifth element. 5 alive. So yeah, altitude is 5 degree, well, 6 degree. It's like 5.6. Venus in Sagittarius. The decline is 17 degrees, the declination. That's what I was looking at before. Funny, I always look at the decline. It's like, right, I think I'm more from the the underworld. So, again, we all have different, like, somebody else would say something seems bad, another area seems bad, right? Like, but it's like we're all coming together to the center, right? The great galactic center. So don't pay attention so much. Again, the stories you've been told. Don't forget, stories have been changed so many times throughout, like, and Holy Spirit's not in heaven, right? I would say that in many videos. Next door, but she's not in heaven. we got to roll blunt. Calling me a roll blunt. So, what's my little baby? Oh, what is it? How did you say? on the water. Cortez is Cortez the killer. It's guitar jam. Rainbow stems then. Save my stems. Dancing across the water. Dancing across the water. I have like smoking across the water in my head, maybe because I'm rolling. Or smoke on the water. Mixing the songs up in my head. The lyrics. Came dancing across the water. So, yeah, Lady in the Lake came up this morning on so that Venus, the morning star, Venus about to go retrograde. Like I said, I'm not sure if she's in retrograde yet. I gotta look into the chart. I didn't do that yet. So, you know, it's just about connecting with yourself. Dancing across the water. You know, and we can do that with music, with fairy folklore, with mythology, with biblical and ancient, you know, terminology and script. Right? With science, you know, periodic table on the chart, quantum physics, everything, cartoons, you know, it's all relative. It's all related, right? The law of one. But if it was all at the same time, at the same vibration, we'd be one big clump, right? Go blah. You know that the word sex, I always say means secret energy exchange as far as like the acronym. But think about this, and I'm going to do a video separate on this, but just to throw the thought out there. Sex means divide. First, we're androgynous hermaphrodite. To divide the sexes, make one male, one female. It's about division. In a certain sense. It also means, again, sacred energy exchange. So it's like, again, how it's being, right? There's a lot of different things being used. Discernment's important. Right, boo-boos? Knowledge is power. Where did things come from? How did they originate? How are they used now to manipulate? Or where we're just unconsciously aware and we're like, oh, whatever, it doesn't matter. Hey, oh, we'll just stick it over there. Like, no, it matters. No, it matters a lot. How was creation created? Not how was man and female divided. How was creation created? That's a different question. Man invents and makes things. We co-create with spirit. Not by ourselves, though. Alright. Break sun. I'm not tiny. Warren Hayes. Dave Matthews Band. Jam, jam, jam. Thank you. Thank you for being so patient with me. I appreciate. Like I said, I need my little smoky. Sorry if that offends you or you don't like that. Okay. Mother Nature's medicine. Or speaking of cannibalism, right? It's like, oh, I'm the sativa plant. Yeah, I smoke myself every day. Every day. That's part of Leviticus I was reading yesterday. Actually, it was making me like, ugh. It's like, I'll make them eat themselves. I forget what part, ugh. But yeah. That gave me goosebumps just even think. Yo, Leviticus 27. Ugh. But that's like and about two, Jacob, Abraham, and Isaac. It's like they're not gonna. They got. It's like about them. Humbling, being humble, humbling out. It says it right in there. It's like I don't even. I don't. What those stories mean to me and what they're gonna mean to others are going to be right. They're different to all of us. So sometimes when we're talking about things and people get all bent out of shape and overreactive, it's like, well, obviously you were meant to overreact over that or whatever. But, just know I'm not. What's going on? That's not why that wasn't our purpose for doing shit. So, the overreacting, I don't even know what I was just saying. Overreactions of us would then, come from, elements that are still immaturely unprocessed under our skin, right? Or behaviorisms that are still needing to be tended to and grown and allowed time and space to do so. Okay, so do I want to read the Lady of the Lake here? Get on. Okay. Numerous Welsh folk tales of the Lady of the Lake recount the union of the beautiful water fairy and immortal man in marriage, after he overcomes her reluctance by agreeing to certain stipulations. Sir John Rice, or Rye, R-H-Y-S with apostrophe, Rice, Celtic Folklore, Welsh and Manx, 1901, tells the story. Funny, tractor trailer drove by before, it said Celtic on it with a K. Stonehenge. A young man sent to look after his mother's cattle beside a small lake, the Lyn y Fanfach. Sorry if I pronounced it wrong. Sees a beautiful maiden combing her long flaxen hair while seated on the glassy water. He is mesmerized by her beauty and holds out to her a portion of the bread he has been eating. She quietly refuses, saying the bread is too hard, and promptly dives beneath the waters. The youth is utterly forlorn and love-struck and hurries home to his mother, who gives him some unbaked dough the next day to take as an offering. After many hours of patient waiting, the man spies the cattle on the far side of the lake and is just hastening to herd them to safety when the beauteous maiden rises from the waters and he prefers his heart to her, his fidelity and his handful of dough. But again, she smilingly refuses, and again he returns home. This time his mother makes a loaf of melting softness, and the youth sets out yet again to woo the lake fairy. He spends the entire day watching the undisturbed surface of the water, and as the evening sun sinks, despondency starts to descend on him. Suddenly, he notices with amazement that his cattle are walking on the lake, and his hope rise as his beautiful maiden appears. At last they meet, clasping hands, as his offering is finally accepted, and his persuasive talk elicits her promise to become his wife on condition that he will never strike her 3 times without just cause. There must be some kind of way out of here. It's playing now. Says the Joker to the thief. At this, she disappears into the water, and his joy turns to despair, before being replaced by wonder, as now 3 figures emerge and come towards him. A fine old man with 2 identical daughters. It's one on the nose. Interesting. One of whom the ardent lover must correctly select as his bride. Sounds like, what was that other one I'm thinking of in the Bible with Leah, Lee, and that was a trick, right? They tricked him. Okay, with a subtle and deft movement of her foot, one of them shows him the distinctive lacing of her sandal, thus solving his dilemma. And the young man and his fairy bride are given herds of goats, cattle, sheep, and horses, which rise from the lake as rapidly as the lake maiden can count them. The men, 101, and the fairy live a happy life together, and 3 fine sons are born. But the fairy wife's ways are sometimes strange, and her husband reprimands her for this, touching her each time, though gently. On the 3rd such occasion, she cries that he has broken his vow and the marriage must end. Gathering her cattle and sheep, she leads them away over the hills to the little lake, where they all disappear beneath the waters. Her wisdom and knowledge of healing are not lost. However, for when her sons are grown men, they meet her by the shores of the lake, and she imparts her secrets to them. They become renowned throughout Wales for their medicinal skills, and are remembered ever after as the physicians of, oh boy, midify. See also Van Pools. There now. Van Pools. Okay. The spirit of the Van haunts the Van Pools, a beautiful body of water in the Welsh mountains of Carmarthen. She appears on New Year's Eve, dressed in white with long golden hair, sitting in a golden boat that she propels with a golden oar. Her story shows that unions between mortals and fairies do not always run smoothly. According to legend, many years ago, a young farmer heard of the spirit of the Van's great beauty and went to the lake on New Year's Eve and awaited her arrival. This is also like the story of the Selkies, which I've shared before too. Oh, Valkyries is next to this. Upon seeing her, he fell in love and asked her to marry him, but she faded away. Night after night, he went back to the lake in the hope of seeing her again. His farm was neglected as a profound melancholy descended on him. At last, he sought the help of a Welsh mountain sage, who advised him to leave gifts of cheese and bread by the water's edge. He did as instructed, but still the spirit would not appear. The following New Year's Eve, he took his best cheeses and loaves of bread to the lake. At last, the spirit appeared and rowed in his direction. She stepped ashore, and to his delight, consented to become his wife, bringing cattle with her as her dowry. Tids and dowries. She warned him that he should never strike her. If he did, the third time he did, so she would disappear. The pair lived very happily until one day they were invited to a christening. In the midst of the ceremony, the spirit burst into tears. Her husband asked her why she was making such a fool of herself. The poor babe is entering a world of sin and misery. Why should I rejoice? She replied. Embarrassed and angry, her husband gave her a push, and she warned him he had struck her once. Oh, because the baby was at a christening. I'm like, hold on, that took me a second to process. I'm trying to process as I'm reading it. The pair lived happily until they were invited to a christening. In the midst of the ceremony, the spirit burst into tears, right? Because they're trying to put a ritual, like right now with the vaccine. Same shit. The poor babe is entering a world of sin and misery. Why should I rejoice? She replied. Embarrassed and angry, her husband gave her a push, and she warned him he struck her once. Sometime later, they attended the funeral of the very same child. Sorry if that offended you. I mean, it's like I was baptized. My daughters were baptized, as far as like, it's like, I didn't know. And also, as far as that goes, I don't, it's like, that's all. It's like purifying the waters. I'm not a religious person. I don't take any belief system and hold it as that's going to run me. I operate by love and truth. So, which is also like a warring spirit. It's like Athena, right? Athena, Aphrodite, or Venus, Lucifer, I guess. It's like, right? Absolute unconditional love. But when yeah, and I'll never hurt anybody. So it's like, get the fuck out of here, even trying to, I'm just speaking as far as like morality and integrity, morals go and stuff. Yeah, have some. Okay. So let's see. Sometime later, they attended the funeral of the very same child. This time, the spirit laughed and sang. Her husband asked again why she was making such a fool of herself. I laughed, she replied, because the child has now left a world of sin for a world of joy. Her husband pushed her again, and she warned him he'd struck her twice. Then they were invited to a wedding where the bride was young and the man of advanced years. Once again, the spirit wept and said, "It is the devil's compact. Youth has married age for gold. I see misery for them both." Her husband, forgetting her earlier warnings, pushed her again. This time, she vanished forever, taking the herd with her. And also, that's what Leviticus has to do it too. It's like those have like taken over the land or taken over any possession in any manner, like Jubilee, which is now. Is it? I don't even know if that is true or not. Is it? Are we in like Jubilee? When is Jubilee? I mean, it's when we say it is, because their calendar is all fucked up anyhow, right? Their fiscal year calendar, their Julian Gregorian calendar, again, to keep everybody in the herd, in line. A jubilee is a particular anniversary of an event, usually denoting the 25th, 40th, 50th, 60th, and 70th anniversary. Of biblical origin, the term is often now used to denote the celebrations associated with the reign of a monarch after a milestone number of years have passed. We're almost there. That's cool. Of course. Okay, I gotta do another reading with this one. I'm gonna have to do another video on this with Leviticus and Jubilee and all that. I just wanted to pop it up and see what it said here, but super cool. So yeah. It's like the welfare thing. Yeah, because they don't want to observe it. In short, Jubilee year is currently not observed or commemorated. The reasons for this are complex and involve many different opinions on the matter. In following lines, I'll attempt to briefly relay the development issues. So I'm going to read that and get into that. Of course, they don't observe Jubilee or whatever because why? It's like no, because they want to keep fishing. They want to hold that pole and say they got power. There I go. The fishing pole, the little lure, like hey, hey. Or they use fear, right? You gotta watch out. There's right. You gotta have a villain. Right now, the villain is right the V word, which again, it in a sense it's partial truth, meaning it's it's like what's that video or it's like oh no, like Armageddon, the movie Armageddon, and it's like when they go to do the astronaut training. And it's like, we're going to whip you around. We're going to put you through it's like, you're going to get tossed around, bumped around, sucked through, feel like you're being drowned. It's like, oh, fun. Right. But that's what's going on. That's how we're, right? I mean, literally, that's going through the birth canal. It's like a roller coaster ride on a haunted house through hell. Getting dropped out of heaven onto the earth, right? Because heaven and earth, as above, so below, that's again like a vertical candle, or like again the tablets of like Thoth, as vertical and up and down, up and down. It's fine. It just is what it was for it, right? It's reincarnation, like, but in a and Enzo's using control, right? Pyramid of power again. Wait, what's on your dollar? I have a dollar right here. What's on your dollar, right? The pyramid. So, right, see that thing that's landing right there? That's a warship landing on top of the pyramid, and then it blocks. All right, so where's the capstone? And then puts a circle around it. That's like, I'm just gonna lay on top of you, and then but they do, and then it's in the stratosphere. So and then too, there's a hole popped in the fucking clouds in Switzerland, which is where CERN is, etc. Right? Which only occurs if there's some kind of craft in the area. So ancient technology. Don't forget any of these wars. War. What's it good for? Making money, honey, and raping the earth and Gaia of its resources, raping the earth of its resources, raping the earth of its resources. But everybody's so like zombie brain dead and everybody's like, oh, that doesn't, everything is fine. Does it freak out? Freak out? They're under mind control. Or they made a deal with the devil, right? They sucked Satan's dick and decided to be, right, the devil's whore. So so just know that and walk away. Everybody's like, oh, but this is going on. Well, yeah, but people are dealing with karma right now. If it's not your karma, leave it the fuck alone. Don't let other people pull on your heartstrings and make you feel guilty because of whatever decision that they made, and now they have some dirt they have to clean up. Doesn't mean that they're bad. Doesn't mean they're pieces of shit. You don't have to worry about it. Don't sin with your heart and in your mind because of it. Okay? Just allow yourself to take care of what you need to take care of, which is inside of you. Don't worry about what they got to take care of. Right? This is where we learn to detach and let go. We're not allowing guilt, right, and expectations of others to keep us stuck somewhere. Again, like the stories we just read. Will you please just wait? They don't take no for an answer. Just switch it. But here, but what else? But what else? But what else? Okay. But then when we do, and then it's like, yeah, but they just wanted our energy. So that's like, you're right. Then they don't really like it's like, again, trying to put your shoe in a, thinking the grass is greener, going back to green. Grass is greener on the other side, 114. Right? Can turn another into Jekyll and Hyde. Like in the story we just read too, right? So obsessed with the right beautiful like nymph or water goddess or whatever, the right mermaid, fairy, lady of the lake, however, right? Woman, girl, right? The fallen ones attracted to the daughters and men. Oh, we're just gonna take them. So however, look right now, right? Guys want to get married, but then they cheat on their wives, and vice versa. Women get married, like we just read, to men for money or for other stuff, for status, for, it's like, how long has this sin been going on? Is it all been for like with faith and trust and love, or is it built upon, like, what have you built your stacks on? What's your, right? Like they say, they're like, watch out for the wolf. Hold on a minute, little piggies. If bitches is acting like little fucking pigs, then yeah, the wolf's gonna come blow your house down, and that's it. It's like, you don't. How is the wolf bad? Hold on a minute. God sent the wolf to come clean the land. But you all say dog is man's best friend, and I see half of you treat your dogs horribly. Not half. I mean, not use that number. That's a false statement. But that's another thing, right? People use animals. People use energy like women, right? Because they are coming from the feeling of lack, and they come from the feeling, right? I just only had, I couldn't fill my cup all the way because I ran out of water in my teapot. But I'm not looking at my cup as half empty. I'm like, ooh, great, thank goodness I still have more to drink. My cup's half full, motherfucker. Right? That was a perfect example, Divine Time. And I love this song that's playing right now. And I'm so grateful for you coming and hanging out in the green. It's gonna, oh, in the heart chakra, green. And, like, again, a lot of people aren't ready yet. So little by little, all this information's already out there anyhow. But little by little, as we keep moving through space and time, because that's what we're doing, right? I'm going to definitely get more into, because I have so much fun work. And let me show you like a little, I mean, just as an example, right? This is like this song I did so long ago, and I think I've shared this before, but I have really long videos, and I know that, like, yeah, who the hell's gonna watch it all? It's too much. I know it's too much too. That's why it's like, it's all here for you when you need it, like it, or want it to be. It doesn't have to be or need to be anything other than that. It's like, take what resonates, leave the rest. If it's not for you, that's totally cool too. It's like, it's totally, we got brothers and sisters everywhere, right? Follow your rhythm, follow your stream, so that you can find all the, it's like, how many people, like, how many different, here, look, how do I do this good? Let me see. You're this way. Let me see if I, so bizarre. I like totally got, like, I don't know where I went there. So yeah, this is just like a little So if you want to pause and take a look at that, because it's like a good little something you might want to meditate upon. Just take a look at. I don't even know, right? Power of thought, dark primordial mother, producing electricity, three kings traveling. Yeah, totally. Copywritten by Metaphysical Mama, though. It's like, unfortunately, yeah, and no robots either. I don't mind. I have no problem with robots, but at the same time, like yeah, I have more problem probably with humans. So yeah, I'm gonna get a lot more into the twin flame body, this kind of stuff, the power of thought, balancing out like what the actual metaphysics of it, what this stuff kind of means. So, but that's another video. But I just wanted to share frankincense and myrrh, gold, holy grail. Right, this is like your shield. See, right, keep like your shield yourself with the armor of God. Right. I always go backwards. Sorry. Positive thoughts produce beautiful sacred geometry within the body of water, right? Our atoms turn into beautiful shaped snowflakes. Salt water conducts electricity. It's a semiconductor of electricity. A semiconductor of electricity. And then we have copper running through and iron running through our blood. We have magnets, right? Magnets running through in our positive, negative. And the center of the earth is the iron magnetic core. That's where the Big Bang occurred, in the center of the earth, where the sign of the cross or the swastika, which then, right, the torus field, right, resonates out of the big, huge electromagnetic field. And like a big fountain. We're just pushing all the water and everything, so we have a dome and air to breathe in, water, right? This is how we have, right, like this gets into creation and like how science, this is astrophysics, and then planetary, like how this is how our system, how our system operates, right? Earth is an living conscious organism that we're living in, on top of, right? It shares its, right? And earth is the tummy, right? It's within Gaia's womb, right? That's why it's called the womb and the tomb, right? As far as Osiris is, right, the tomb, again, right? Venus, morning star, Lucifer, the evening with the right. So, or the right. There's many different, right? Again, that everything's cyclical. If you to understand metaphysics and astrophysics and cosmology and mythology and how all these things are hand in hand. And again, then what we're getting into here with, right, like the periodic table. And again, this is all intertwining, all coming into, we are a tree, right? Tree of life, right? Is everybody always picking on me? Right? Fairies, green man from the tree. So the woodland creatures, yeah, right? Like, so nature. Would you not like to be? Herbie's like, nope, I just want it to be my way. I'm getting hungry. Speaking of, I don't want to crush that. So that's just a little thing, but I have a lot of stuff I'm putting together. So yeah, I'm gonna try to get a little more focused on that. I think, I'm getting guided. About to be time. But however I'm guided to do it is I'm gonna go, and everything will be just fine. All right, so I think Kelpie blown away. Be wary of the gray horse, the Kelpie. The Kelpie. All right, we're going to end with the mermaid. I'm being guided to read about the Kelpie here, so let's check this out. I'm going to relight my blunt here. I'll show you a picture. So check that out. Gray. So we got red eyes. So the Kelpie, while all water spirits can be tricky, for the most part, they are charming, but not so the Kelpie. This spirit appears as a gray horse, which may seem friendly at first, but this is only in order to entice the weary traveler onto its back. Once astride, the unfortunate is magically stuck. Yeah, well, that makes sense. And the Kelpie gallops into the water, submerging the rider until he or she drowns. So we were just talking about with the pyramid, isn't that funny? I was talking about the warship, which that's actually, I'm not just like, we're gonna get into shit now. Now we in it. We can get in it. And don't forget here too, I'm being guided to like look, right? I'm gonna read about the mermaids next. This is from the Ancient Flower Life book, right? So the Dogons, and the fish gods, etc. The sea goat, dolphin, Delphine, Oracle of Delphine, Sirius B, and be weird. So like, there's a lot of green-eyed monsters, right? Which is we can all feel that way at times, right? So but yeah, some of really, yeah, just there's a lot of that are not benevolent, unfortunately. Is what it is, right? Kids, we got children to take care of, so we ain't concerned with what we don't need to be concerned about. But we gonna shout it out. Shout, shout, let it all out. My poor book is broken. It's so old. It's falling apart on me. All right, but hold on, because, oh, here we are. Warship atop the Great Pyramid. Because yesterday I was like doodling and I started, and then go figure, I opened to this page. I was naturally drawing like these figure eights. I ended up drawing a flower of life. What did I draw it on? Is it here? Yeah. I got Golden Girls, cause and bless Betty White and her fam. So yesterday I was trying this stuff, trying and writing all this stuff here. Betty White, Black and White, end of duality, right? End of the year, right? End of her 99 turn before she turned a century. Doctor Sleep, Thutmose is the third. Yesterday was a 13-day. Stephen King, which got brought up to with King Stephen. We read King Stephen. Yesterday I wrote Stephen King. King James. So you see, I'm not lying. I've never read that before. All right, so anyway, Smoke on the Water. That's why before I was like mixing up the two songs. All right, Golden Girls, Golden Grids, Hermes Crib, Betty White, BW, Black, White, the Yin Yang, End of Duality, End 2021, and then parentheses 2012, and a Fifth Element, Star on Either Side, Kung Fu Kangaroos, Tao of Pooh, Warriors of Virtue. I had watched that the other night. It was a movie, Warriors of Virtue, which I got guided. It was like a 1987 movie, really cute. I never seen that one before. But I've seen all those like Never Ending Story, Dark Crystals, kind of like that kind of like a movie. It was really good. Warriors of Virtue, and it had Kung Fu Kangaroos. I liked it a lot. Anyway, but right, 5 equals 1. Power of the positive Kung. Right, all coming together as one. The fifth element, 5 elements itself. Okay. The tools are at the footstool. Mushroom, roots, soul. One step at a time, THYME, meaning use your herbology. We acknowledge love and let go. We acknowledge, right? We acknowledge the shit, put love all over it, and let go. We don't gotta do anything, just send love. You don't gotta worry that, oh, but I should no, we're gonna start letting go. But you'll know where you need to, right? Like where we're meant to be of service, because there's going to be an equal energy exchange. So this is right. Like, is it your turn to go? Right? Is it my turn to go? Is it who? Right? Oh, is it right? Is it or is it ready? Is it time? Right? Wisdom is timing. We got Margaret, Martha, Chiron, Cryon, Cryin, and then again Taurus field. It started in the center as the swirl, and right here in this one. So that we had the first swirl circle, and then again from the center of that, the Taurus flow come out. So here's we have the triple worlds, right? Trinity. There's 3. Also, I mean, there's a lot that this goes into. I had a big download, but this is just a brief. Like it's like what goes on here, and then what I can verbalize linearly is right. That's why a lot of it's channel information, is right? Because light codes are coming in, so I don't have to finish that. Once it's like that $25,000 pyramid game, or what's it like when you have to get right. Say my name, say my name. You gotta guess something or whatever, right? It's like once that you got the answer. Once it's enough, it's like spirit keeps you moving. It's like they got it. I don't have to keep over explaining it. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, because the light codes are coming down in synchronicity, right? Double slit tongue, right? Flesh, right? Devil son, right? So it's an instrument I'm able to use, but we don't want to get confused because the heart is way more intelligent than the brain or the gut or what we think or feel, or right? It's the heart intelligence, the heart chakra, not the human heart. Oh, I feel DDD and DDD. No, that's you're not in the center. No, the center, where the heart chakra. 3 hearts. Metaphysics is simply confusing and confusingly simple. at the same time. So yeah, also Pan, right? I had songs, yeah. Heaven let your light shine down. That song yesterday came through my head. And Zombie, Zombie from Cranberries. And that's what you get for falling in love. Is that Panama? I don't know if that's the same song. I mix songs a lot sometimes. I think it's Van Halen or David Lee Roth, but back in the day, right? But that came in my head yesterday too. That's what you get for falling in love. Oh no, and Panama. So pandemic, and ma. So I had to break that down too. Huh? Panama Canal, Panama, something with Panama yesterday. Panama, and I'm still here. The message is still coming in. Okay, so snowflakes also, which we love the snowflakes here. The dreaming tree is dying. Don't let the dreaming tree die. Remember how to use your imagination. Find your inner child inside and allow your divine feminine to rise and for your Eve to feel safe at your side, right? Our emotional body. If we're not controlling our emotions and letting them leak out all over the place, that's what that represents. The pyramid smothering, overreaction of emotions, right? Chemical allergic reactions to self that are being thrown out into all the currents all over, creating chaos, which is what we call the world. The thoughts and the feelings that just are leaking out of all. That's different than the earth, our earthly body, or our physical flesh, right? Our land. And this is our land, and this is also, right, and then we walk upon, right, like the land outside produces our, right, fruits and vegetables and air and the symbiotic relationship we have in order to live here, which should be honored, respected, and very, very much appreciated with an attitude of gratitude, right? Like, I'm so grateful, even for like any like shit I've ever gone through, that I still go through, that I get aggravated with. That it's like, then I'm grateful for it because I still have to take a look at myself. I still have, it's always something to, right? Like, it's just how we look at it. Does it feel good when we go through it? Some no, we're like, or whatever, or confused or upset. We're going through the emotion and the turmoil. So, right, divine feminine is caring for, again, that Eve, that emotion. What emotion are you going through? The divine feminine in you has to take time and space to nurture that, or allow that to clear, allow time and space for that to process. And right, it's like, it's okay, it's gonna be okay. That's like our little child inside that's afraid, that's scared. That's what everyone's letting run the world, instead of, it's like, what? Hold on a minute. That means that you just like raising bullies and like making monsters. What are you doing? Your kid stomps their foot and like has a fit, and whoa, hold on. Or they don't have to do what they need to do to go through shit. That you just sign off on it or pretend like, what a world of pretenders. And they get all mad when the jig is up. So yeah, anyway, I was talking about with this is the little heart thing I was talking about. I'm able to say. So yeah, there's like a pyramid, the circle, and the top of the thing, and then the flower, and then it connected to the other flower over here. I don't know. And then yeah, too, the wheel, these two. I don't know. So yeah. Assassin's Creed, Knights Templar, Death Rebirth Program, Crushing Violence, Deception, and Humanity. At the least, capture the flag, contain the light by midnight. Sandwich, best thing since sliced bread, ancient flower of life, like a helicopter pad. Yeah, yeah. So again, like, yeah, when other people are running around other people's skin, I don't know. So I ended up trying that yesterday. It was my whole point. And then this isn't what I opened to, but I opened to the page after this. Sorry, that's singing in here. I had opened to this page, but I could see the other page glaring under it, and I was like, oh shit, like I just was drawing that, right? So yeah, but that says War Shep atop the Great Pyramid. And go figure, it's on page 114. Today's a 14-day, and first, yeah, the 3.5 days of the void, Emerald Tablet. Okay, well, too. Oh wait, hold on. See, I didn't read the whole thing, but I bet. Okay, this is having to do with the shift, with the polar shift, but also, yeah, no, they took that to advantage before by fucking with the magnets and electrons. So again, like, yeah, those are like, oh yeah, prophesized. You know, some of them did that, like, right, controlling the weather, using technology and stuff that they shouldn't be in order to gain capitalism and dominancy, which is a way different thing, and it's fucking rude. But that's okay. We're coming out of that era. We forgive you and love you anyway. So yeah, this is an amazing, awesome book. I highly, if you do not already have one. 202. We 2 hours in, boo-boos. I'm going to read about the Kelpie here. So again, we want to be careful of the Kelpie. Be weary of the Kelpie. Some Kelpies, such as the Shetland Noggle, are most mischievous than malevolent, but can still be dangerous to humans. Even other fairies keep away from the Kelpie and merely see it as an omen of death. The Kelpie is essentially a spirit that haunts Scottish rivers. Often it can be heard wailing before storms arrive. Some stories tell of the Kelpies wearing magical bridles that can be used by any human bold enough to steal them. By contrast, an ordinary bridle may be put on a Kelpie, although this is an extremely dangerous and difficult task. Once the bridle is in place, however, the Kelpie must do as it is bidden. One story tells how Grimm of Morphy bridled a Kelpie and made him haul stones to build his castle. When the building was complete, Grimm released the bruised and battered Kelpie, which galloped off into the river, pausing only to curse Grimm and his clan. The Morphys never thrived in their new home, but found only misfortune. Sometimes a Kelpie may appear as a handsome young man and may attempt to lure young women away. Interesting. The Kelpie can be recognized by the shells and watercress in his hair. He can also shapeshift into a rough, shaggy-haired human male, leaping up behind riverside riders and trying to crush them to death in his grip. More generally, the Kelpie may be the spirit of the river itself, unpredictable, hungry, and cruel. The message of the Kelpie is certainly that nature has a savage side and is to be respected. However, the horse also has other meanings, such as that of a rider between the worlds. And so the Kelpie may be a shaman's steed. I'm gonna say, yeah, hold on. taking him on that perilous journey into the other world, where he may learn great wisdom or face death. 144. Not all fairies are benign, and only the very wise are foolish, or foolish antagonize the Kelpie. So it's like, yeah, definitely. It's like, well, then again, see, there's a, yeah. Well, that would make sense if the Kelpie and the shaman would, because yeah, the shaman wouldn't want anything from the Kelpie except because they're both inter travelers of both the other worlds. So again, if it's an equal energy exchange, that would be a sacred energy exchange. Again, like sex, as far as the acronym. So, but yeah, humans, fairy, and can show up as a handsome young man and attempt and lure young women away. Watch out for them big studs out there, ladies. You know, again, it's like I whatever, but like, right, they I ain't on all Instagram and all that, and no judgment, whatever. It's just I got the the fishing pool. I'm just gonna say. All right, mermaid. Mermaids are well known from folklore and art as maidens with the upper body of a beautiful woman and the lower body of a fish, although Scottish tales say they have legs within the scales. They have wondrous voices, and their haunting songs travel over the waves as they sit on rocks, combing their hair while looking into mirrors. Irish mer people are called merrows. The women have webbed fingers, although they are kind and beautiful, while the males have green teeth and hair, red noses, and jovial temperament. Green teeth and hair and red noses. I had a different vision in my head when I read that. Sorry, that just messed my whole head all up. Sorry, my brain went boing. It was like the cable went out for a second. Carl was talking about the otherworldly. There was a collision there. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell. I hope you're having fun. I did not expect to be on here for 2 hours, but you know, I never do, and I never can tell. Okay, I hope you are enjoying though. I enjoy you being here, and thank you for hanging out. Really. Okay. The women have webbed fingers, although they are kind and beautiful, while the males have green teeth and hair, red noses, and jovial temperament. Merrows characteristically wear red caps, and if these are stolen, they cannot go back to the sea. Mary Maid. So, like the silky skin, I bet lots of those red caps have been stolen, and they're right using mermen as slaves. So we're gonna make sure that we are able to free them out of that place. Oh, okay. Mary Maid is the Cornish equivalent, Meerfrauen and Meerjungfrauen, the German, Jungfrauen, Meermennen, the Dutch, and Meerweather, the Scandinavian version. Sorry if I pronounced those improperly. There are many tales of bargains being struck between humans and mermaids, and of unions between them. One Scottish clan claims descent from a mermaid and a fisherman. Sometimes the mermaid will make promises in order to retrieve her comb or mirror, without which she is land-bound. Okay, well, that's interesting, because then there's like, great, that's making me think of the story of like Urania's mirror, and Venus and Mercury were flipped around. So I think, like, right, again, it's like some the use of someone else's, right, art of things. Yeah. And that's Blood In, Blood Out. And they made a copy of the comb in that movie, Blood In, Blood Out. And look at that picture. It's making me think of that comb. That has a lot to do with the hair and the rib. How is Eve, right, made the hair? And rib means hair, DNA, strand, hair, rabbit. There's a lot of different ways that gets bounced around right there. All right, generally, wow, that's fucking annoying. All right. These may take the form of granting 3 wishes or even becoming wife to a human. But there is always a price to be paid in return, and after a period of years, generally 3, 7, or 9, the recipient of the mermaid's gifts must meet her again and be taken down forever into the watery depths. I bet they didn't read the fine print there. More usually, however, the enchanting mermaid will lure to a watery grave any unsuspecting human who comes upon her. Oh, if you do or you don't like it. That's not true. That's more the sirens and the nymphs. Oh, maybe. I mean, I don't know. Again, men are out there fishing in the waters, so they probably did lure them out there. Yeah. Again, like, absolutely. After something was taken that shouldn't have been, right? That should have been put back. Anyway, that's the message they're giving me as I'm going through. I don't. Yeah, it's like I don't. I don't know. Sirens are a type of Greek sea nymph who, like mermaids, besides bewitching physical beauty, have the gift of magical song, so entrancing and irresistible that it could drive men mad and entice them to shipwreck on the rocks. 21212, as I said that. 21212. And I'll say, all right. If you could keep me floating. I'm listening now. I'm sorry, Dave Matthews in the background. Jimmy Thing. I love this song. All right. So again, that's like Homer's Odyssey, which I got into this morning. Actually, came to me the what's it called? The Winter Hunt. The Winter Hunt. Yep. But yeah, Odin, and then Odin, Homer's Odyssey with that's right. With the nymphs, the sirens lure the men out to sea with their song. Again, that's why I was talking about the fog and the mist earlier. Right. Of course, the ocean wants to break like as far as well, rain cloud go up down. But if you're again humble and of heart, right, then the rain clouds bring water where water needs to be brought to the lands for fertilization. But if people are straight up dicks, it's gonna either like suck you in or could flood your land. It depends. Or if you're like a cheating, sneaky, manipulative fuck, you may get lured by one of them because, right? It's like, because you talk, because you suck. And that kept coming out the other day. Someone's Tucker, Tim Tucker, Tucks, right? And now what hemorrhoid pads are called too. Or it's like all this tucking, Tucker. I was like, I don't know what that all was, but I was like, had me write it down and everything. I don't know. If that has anything relative. Okay. So entice them to shipwreck on the rocks. Sirens lived on the island of Anthemoessa, Anthemoessa, Anthemossa, the island of Anthemoessa, and the hero of Odysseus was the only man who heard them and lived. For he ordered himself to be tied to the mast of his boat, that's what I was just referring to, where he could not succumb to their deadly charms, while his sailors, their ears blocked with wax, guided the boat past the island. Consequently, a siren song, and then what is, right, police and etc. trucks that have sirens, and red and blue, woo, woo, woo. I had that force get made originally. Homer's Odyssey, Viking, the force, using the force in a negative manner. Negative. But that's going to naturally, so just let it go, let it go. It's 155 and 21555. Y'all already know. And I'm about to lose my battery. Battery. And I need to eat something because internally that's depleting too. My phone and me are in sync there. All right. So let's see. Homer's Odyssey, the only man who lived, where he could, so come. A siren song has now come to be synonymous with dangerous seduction, right? Like, want to go to the club. You want to, right? Think of all the different lures. If Jesus a fisher of men and he's out there fishing with a fishing pole, what's at the end of his lure? A siren? See, the words get, and then spread out in different, right? Spread out in different manners and ways, right? Don't get rocked to sleep by thinking of only one or two currently, right? Like, allow things to float and swim around, like being in that water, right? Well, like, you don't have to do that, but like that's how, I guess, water. Be like water, Bruce Lee. Be like water. Being in fluid. Being fluid. Time is fluid. So yeah, being in the water. There's not really a choice. It's just like when the river runs through it, it's coming, right? The flood. It's hypothetical. It's like their terms, words, usage of words and terms we use, metaphorically speaking, and then going into different a story that we can relate to, and right. So whether that's by mainstream or by, but most people just get right or rocked to sleep by mainstream because they're so focused and staying in line and being right and accepted all the time, right? Not be able to let go, which is actually a weakness, right? Especially in God's eyes, divine eyes, etc. Because it's like, yo, if you can't, then it's not about what man says. Oh, you should have a job. You should have this. What are you doing? Da da da, etc. No, it's not about that. Those things are great. We love and respect our fellow man. However, at the same time, it's like, are you respecting? If you're trying to not respect where I'm coming from, you're not respecting my intuition, my gut, my emotion, my where I'm like, and I'm not, and I don't come from that emotional place of So it's like, when respect isn't already like, it's like when they're already coming from being leaking out and trying to gain control and pointing and sticking and pricking and fucking and tucking and sucking and brown nosing and shit. So everybody got to wear masks, right? All the shit that's being put out. Diaper on your butt, diaper on your face, codependent nation. Everybody needs depends in both places. Sorry. Not sorry. Reese's. So yeah, siren song is synonymous with dangerous seduction. Suction. Energy harvesters. Again, Dr. Sleep. And any way they can take it. Monsters any way. Anyway. Energy, right? They want it. They want it. Mermaids may be connected with an ancient and powerful creatrix goddess, and the mirror and the comb are linked in the Greek tongue with the vulva. 22002, as I said that. The ancients often regarded sexuality as sacred, and mermaids echo this. Yeah, sacred. But I'm not gonna. Yeah, in the Greek tongue, that's a little different. That's where it. I bet that's where the comb and the mirror are being held. Hungry freak. Hungry people. I don't know. Anyhow, I so appreciate you coming to hang out. 2 o'clock, 2:20 in, and thank you so much for hanging out again. I can't believe we got 2 hours again in. So that was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, I'm gonna give this a boost. Give myself a boost. Eat something. And hi. Oh, no worries. Sorry, I didn't hear you. Come, it's okay. Thank you. It's okay. I didn't hear, sir. um. So again, yeah, 2/21/21. Super grateful for all of us. Till next time.